are back for another episode of Get a Load of This. Is that what it's
That's
still
how it goes.
called? I
That's
don't even
how it
remember.
goes.
Is that how it goes? Yep.
And dynamite with the timing on the music. To you, every time you nail it just right.
I know.
I don't know how, it's amazing.
It's
impeccable
it's
timing.
Yep.
It's really
It's
impressive.
practice.
And I've missed the
I
music.
sit down here a lot.
And it sounds like you made a
It's
little update
tweak.
to it. Yeah, it's
I hope
very
you
nice.
guys
Very well
enjoy
done.
The little modernized,
Maestro
updated,
Jarod here.
Yeah.
By the way, that's Jarod.
Oh yeah, I'm Jarod,
And I'm Ryan.
and we are
back.
we are back. It's been a long time. I think we took a longer break
It's been a minute.
than we thought.
It's been a minute. I feel like we
going
probably
to.
lost some people on the way.
Yeah.
I checked on the social media, Instagram, I think it was. Followers are down.
Oh yeah,
We're down
Okay.
a bunch.
Wow,
but
we gotta
that's,
get some content out there.
but that's fine. I don't know that, I'm not too worried about that. I think our loyal listeners are they still subscribe on their app.
Yeah.
And if they don't, and you're hearing this, hit that button,
That's right.
that subscribe button, and like us, and hit the automatic download button, depending on what
Yeah.
app you're using. I don't know if you're using Google or iTunes or.
I think
Pocket
you're gonna
Casts
like
or
it. I
whatever.
hope
Yeah.
so. We're gonna try. We'll do our best.
We're gonna try to keep it some of the same stuff that you're used
Yeah.
to, some of just mindless blathering, but also maybe we'll get a little bit entertaining for you, informative. Well, maybe we'll have some other guests. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's
This
going
is
on.
definitely a whatever themed. We won't call it a season. It's not a season anymore, right? We're just
Yeah.
gonna be like episode number 100 something or other.
Yep,
We're gonna figure out what that number is and just go from there.
it's 100 something, right?
It is 100 something,
Which is pretty good.
that is good. I'm
I mean,
proud of it.
We had
Good
how
job.
many years we'd been doing this?
Well, this was going to be our 4th season, but I think it's maybe
But the seasons haven't
3rd
been.
year.
Yeah,
I don't know. There
the
was
seasons
some
haven't been
overlap.
like the same length of time.
I don't. It's been a while.
It hasn't been 4 years. No, it's been like 3. No, 2
Probably.
years. When did we start?
I mean,
It was February 18, I think. I think it was February of 18.
okay, so just 2 years.
That's
that can't
2
be
years.
right.
I know, it seems like an eternity with you.
I can't.
Yeah.
We've been
That's
doing
right.
this way
I'm
too
telling
long.
you. No, that's
Yeah.
it.
All right.
No,
all
we started
right.
talking about it before then, but I think that's when we
Yeah.
started recording was February of 18. Yeah.
I feel like we should be better than this.
Oh, I think we're pretty goddamn good. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
well, part of the reason why we had to take a break is because I got called by the Senate. I had to go up to Washington
Yeah.
and teach all those people how to blabber on for hours
Yeah.
and not make any fucking sense in
It
the
worked.
world. And
Good
I think
job.
I did a pretty good job. I especially with that shithead Schiff. I think I taught him pretty well on how to ramble on aimlessly.
Well,
But,
that reminds me of. We're not going to go too far into one of these topics necessarily, but a lot has happened since we stopped
Yeah.
last
What's a new
year
year?
with the podcasting. Yeah, we've had a new year. We've had Star Wars is over now.
Well, it was over before we took the break.
Well, it came out on the 20th
Of
December.
did it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm. It
whatever.
wasn't out yet when we.
But nobody
last-
cares about that.
I know, but we've had Kobe Bryant is dead.
Yeah.
We've had an impeachment
Yeah.
trial. The whole thing starting to nowhere. I mean, it's crazy. We've got all kinds of stuff. It's just
Well, there's
a
never,
lot has happened.
Yeah, there's
we
never
could have
any.
been talking about everything.
Yeah,
The
But
Oscars.
I'm kind of glad we weren't though.
yeah.
Like, I mean, there. Yes,
So are our
there's,
followers.
Right. There's a lot of stuff, but it's like it's all kind of crap. I was like, yeah, the impeachment. I'm done. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
tired of talking about it, hearing about it. R.I.P. Kobe. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't. There's not much else to say about it. It's tragic. There's not much. I mean, I don't know how
I
anybody.
don't know. I feel like not enough has been made of it.
It's
Oh wait, no.
yeah.
Way
I mean,
too much. has been
when
made
you hear people could talk and will talk for years about where were you when. The same thing with
Yeah.
Michael Jackson when he died, or when Prince died, or when JFK or Elvis or whatever generation you happen to be in. It'll be the same thing with Kobe. I think
Yeah.
it's the same type of thing, and that's about all you can really say. Other than that, it's like everybody feels
I
pretty
tried
much the same way.
So when it first happened, my wife and I were talking about it a little bit, but to put it in sort of perspective was like, and perspective's the wrong word because, but I was like, okay, basically she was asking like, well, I get it that it's sad that he's dead, but like, why is everybody making this big a deal out of it? And I basically
Fucking
said,
Kobe.
it's one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
Some his fans would argue the greatest
Hey,
player of all
easily
time. but
top five.
Top five for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe top 3. So, and it's not like, oh, he's lived this long life after basketball and he finally died of old age. You're talking about a guy that just retired a few years ago and is the greatest player of his generation. You know, it's that kind of thing. So it's like, it's kind of a big deal, I guess. I mean, I hate to be
top 3
obtuse about it.
Really?
Well, I mean, you know, who's number 1? I would say MJ.
Yeah.
Then you got to throw in like, you know, somebody like an Oscar Robertson or something, one of the classics.
But so you got, unless we got to go like modern era, and
right.
You know,
yeah.
And I'm not an NBA expert, but if you were to go back, I mean, I almost think you have to split it into like 80s and before, really like 85 and before, because you got Jordan kind of crosses the boundary there. So 85 and before, because then you got your Birds and you got your Magics and you got your Dr. J and you got a lot Oscar Robertson. You got all kinds of guys in there, right? So, and then you got your post Jordan, right? So and that's where I think it's a different measuring stick too. I think
part of what puts Kobe up there is the 5 championships. So he's up there with the guys that have won the most.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan's got 6, other guys have 6.
Yeah.
I forget how many some of the like classic guys had won. Is it more than 6?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think the league was more competitive also than I think.
Well, yeah.
You know, the dominant teams were the Celtics, the Lakers, the Sixers, the Pistons, and I guess the Knicks. But they were really competitive, and none of them had a dynasty really until the Bulls, and with Jordan.
But you can't just go with championships, because then like Robert Horry's got like, doesn't he have 7? I think 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And Robert Horry's great, but he's not great.
Right.
But anyway, we don't need to go down
tell
the basketball
Patriots
path.
fans that you can't base greatness on championships, because
then
the whole Tom Brady thing would fall apart.
My buddy is a huge Raiders fan.
Okay.
And also, he's from New York. He's a huge Giants fan.
Okay.
Football Giants.
All right.
And
can you be both?
I think so, because they're different conferences, different coasts.
Fair enough. Yeah.
He's from New York, and that's the Giants thing. And
All
he
right.
just grew up in the era where the Raiders were the Raiders. You know, the black and silver, badass.
Does he have any
thing.
clothing with spikes on it?
I would assume so. Yeah, he's got a lot of Raiders gear.
Then he needs.
But he's like a legit Raiders fan.
He needs to calm that shit down a little
bit. But
he
fucking hates the Patriots.
Well, everybody hates the Patriots.
Tom Brady, but he hates him from the East Coast thing, right? So he's a Giants guy.
I don't think
Bill Parcells. That's a whole thing that goes way back.
Like fucking Brady are Boston people.
Well, I mean, I appreciate his greatness. I don't like the Patriots, and I don't particularly love Tom Brady, but he's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, fine.
But where I'm going with this is there's rumors that the Raiders want to try to sign him.
Oh, and then he's just
going to be like, well, no, he's going to go crazy because he fucking hates Tom Brady. But
if
that's
he's on your team, you're going to love him.
I guess,
you know?
maybe. I don't
Broncos
know.
fans,
how that works?
Broncos fans hated Peyton Manning too until Peyton Manning became a Bronco, and then they loved Peyton.
I guess.
You know, I mean, that's the way it goes. And also, I mean, I'll throw Jeter into this conversation because I hated Jeter, past tense, hated Jeter.
Yeah.
I never got it. I know, and I hate the Yankees too. So anybody that's a Yankee, their level of greatness is always amplified, eightfold beyond what it should be. If Derek Jeter was on the Orioles,
right,
he wouldn't have been better. You wouldn't know his name. Maybe you would have, but we knew Cal Ripken, right?
Right.
But Cal Ripken,
Jeter's no Cal Ripken.
Jeter's not Cal Ripken, exactly. Yeah. But he's first ballot, I mean, he's obviously.
I don't think he should have been.
But he is. So, anyway, in his retirement, I appreciate Jeter. And now that he's not playing anymore, and not that the Cardinals ever really had to worry about Jeter too much, but I can appreciate it and say, like, all right, he's all right. I got no problem. But he has to be done playing. Like, and I think that's maybe how I'll feel with Brady. That like, all right, maybe once he retires, that it's like, all right, he's all right. Yeah, Brady was good.
I'm kind of already there. I'm like, you know what? I don't like him that much. I don't like the team at all, but he's really good. I gotta give him credit. Like, he's great.
Now, I think I'll give Brady the benefit of the doubt, and I'll probably, he's great.
Yeah.
Fuck Belichick. That guy's a piece of shit. I think he's kind of, I don't say ruined the sport, but he's definitely pushed the envelope to the point where it's like, it's just shady, ethical question marks, you go right. We weren't going to talk about this, but the Astros, I mean, it's those kinds of things. It's pushing the envelope. Like it's not that I think it's pretty well written. I don't know, maybe it's not written in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball rules that you can't use a video system to feed your batter what pitch is coming. I don't know that it's written explicitly like that. But everybody understands that it is, right?
Right.
So it's also what Belichick does. He's like, well, it doesn't say you can't do it in the NFL rule book. So fuck it. You know,
Right.
I'm going to give it a shot. And he does it. And then everybody's like, well, fuck, we got to change that rule.
Yeah.
Because he pushes the envelope. So
He
that's an
does.
asshole.
And,
It's,
that's the thing is like, but, what do they say? What's the old adage? If you're not cheating, you're not trying or whatever.
it's, yeah. Well,
Which I don't agree with, but I
don't
mean, I don't know.
they would say that he's not cheating. He's within the rules. They being the Patriots fans and the lovers of Belichick and Brady. But whatever. I mean, they're fun to watch. I'll give them that. They're exciting. They've been entertaining. It gets old anytime a team is that dominant. And the same goes with the Bills in the early '90s, right? You get like Jesus Christ, or the Cowboys, or the Niners, or anytime that the same teams are always there. It's like, come on, seriously.
You get tired of it.
The Yankees. Dynasties kind of suck.
People outside of St. Louis are not Cardinals fans.
No, I think I agree with him there too. It's like, I don't say the Cardinals are boring because I'm a fan, so I enjoy when they win. But I get it that I wouldn't mind for ticket prices, number one, for them to suck for a season, maybe. Everybody to just calm down a little bit.
I would mind.
Well, I mean,
But yeah.
Look, we've lived a charmed life.
We've been very spoiled.
There's kids, our son's age.
Starving kids in Africa, and we're sitting here rooting for the Cardinals.
But the kids that are our kids' age that are St. Louisans have never known a shitty baseball team.
Right.
There's a bunch of kids up in Boston who have never known a shitty football team.
I feel like the 2018 Cardinals were kind of a shitty baseball
Were they
team.
sub 500?
No, you're right. They weren't that shitty.
Yeah, when is the last time we had a sub 500?
It's been a while.
Yeah. You look at the 70s, which I don't remember the 70s, but the 90s were pretty shitty. We were not a good baseball team.
Fortunately, I was young enough. I knew better, I guess, but I was young enough to not really be a hardcore baseball fan yet. And I had other stuff going on that it didn't bother me that much that the Cardinals were, last place or second to last.
The way it was, It was. I don't think they were ever last. Maybe they were last place a couple times, but they were never like. I don't know. They were always exciting to me.
Yeah.
Even whenever they were kind of shitty, it was
I would be miserable now if that happened. If they went through 4 or 5 years of just horrible, I would be pissed.
Well, that's good ownership. I think that's that you'll see that with the Blues. That once they've gotten to this point, which they've always had a pretty good product to put on the ice, but now that they've got ownership that definitively wants to win.
Yeah.
Right. There's no doubt that they want to go out and find talent and they want to win. But you'll continue to see that.
What did you think the other night with the Bouwmeester heart attack thing?
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Are you cool with them postponing the game?
Yes.
I don't know if I am.
Well, you're an asshole. Then.
Why? I mean,
look,
people get hurt in games. What?
Not a heart attack, but they need to bring the fucking paddles out and bring the son of a bitch back to life. He saw the fucking light and was being called by his loved ones into the fucking light. And all of his teammates watched him get fucking shocked.
They
back
didn't
to life
know what was going on.
Yeah, the fuck they didn't.
They were like, hey,
they saw
you couldn't see.
They saw it right there in front of them. And you want him to go, no big deal. He just got checked in. We're going to go back and play a hockey game.
There's 25,000 people there that all paid a lot of money to watch a hockey game.
I don't know how small of a percentage you're a part of here that thinks that they should have continued to play that game.
What?
But it is an infinitesimal amount of people.
What if he broke his leg?
0.001%.
What if
breaking his leg is not a near death experience? Yeah, they're going to play the game. But when someone dies on the fucking bench and they have to charge paddles and bring his ass back to life, that's
fine.
a big deal.
He's fine.
Furthermore, he's fine now. Furthermore, he's a beloved player who's been in the league. What is the fourth longest or fourth most consecutive games games played?
A veteran. Yep.
He's one of what do they call it? Triple gold? I think he's one of 19 people to have triple gold, which is a hockey world championship, a Stanley Cup, and an Olympic hockey championship. There's only 19 people in the world to ever have that. He's one of them, and that happened last year. He's a pretty exceptional guy, and he's beloved by all. And I think he's just a laid back, easygoing guy. So for something, you would say the same for a lot of players on a lot of teams, that they're just likable people. But I think, he's an exception. But it doesn't matter. It could have been anybody, and I think that they should have stopped the game and they should have postponed it. And anytime someone almost dies, yes.
But he didn't die, and he was.
But you didn't know.
He was conscious when he left the ice and all that stuff.
Oh my God,
they could have played the game, and everybody would have been like, "Wow, okay. I hope he's okay." But
I will let.
He would want us to. Jay would want us to finish the game. That's what they would have said. It would have been epic.
I will
let. They would have won the game, and
I will let our fans and all the people out there in podcast land judge you on this one.
You guys correct me. I am right in
9 billion% sure that you are in a very small minority.
I'm not saying they absolutely were foolish for stopping the game. I just kind of was like, really? They couldn't finish the game?
Did you look at Twitter during that?
Hockey fans are insane.
Did you look at Twitter?
Probably. Okay. I don't know.
Did you see, on, I don't know if it was the Blues, it was their account or not, but they said, the game's been postponed or whatever. And some kid said, seriously, when am I going? How am I going to get tickets? How am I going to get my tickets back for that? And the kid was being a douche, right? Yeah. And that was the top comment, because people were just blowing him up. Like, seriously, someone almost fucking died here, man. And he's like, well, I'm just, I'm in from out of town. I was looking for my tickets.
People die, Ryan. Okay, I'm just saying, there's a line where. You would finish the game.
Are you just trying to be contrarian? No, are you fucking with me here?
I'm not fucking with you. I'm like, I honestly thought that I wasn't pissed that they stopped the game, but I did think, like, what does it take to keep playing? Like, okay, if he broke his leg, you would probably keep playing.
Yes.
If he hit his head on the ice and passed out but woke up, you would finish the game.
Yes, I think so.
If it
was a hard hit, knocked him out, concussion protocol, take him off the ice. Yeah, they.
What about? I remember as a kid, somebody got a skate to the throat, and they were bleeding out on the ice, and somebody had to come and it was like a goalie, I think, or I forget what. But anyway,
okay,
severed artery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped. They saved him, and they got him off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did they finish the game? Would you finish the game in that case?
I don't know. That'd be a tough one. I would say that wouldn't be. I don't know.
So obviously, if he dies, you're going to stop the game. But so there's that line. Like, when do you keep going?
They didn't know. He was taken to the hospital. Yes, he was alert. Yes, he gave a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But the fact that all of his teammates and with the Sharks, was that who they were playing? The Sharks?
I feel like it was Philadelphia.
No, it was West Coast.
Oh, it was the Ducks.
Ducks, you're right.
Ducks. Sorry. I feel like they had orange jerseys on or something.
But the Ducks, the whole team, and all the Blues watched this unfold. And all of them know him, because he's been around forever.
Yeah.
It
definitely choked up the announcers and people that knew him and stuff. So
I don't think they knew that he was going to be okay. They did, and until later that night, they're like, all right, he's under supervision of the doctors. He's going to be fine. But yeah, it was a cardiac event. Right. So you have a guy who's 36, I think is what they said. So he's 36 years old. Obviously way fucking healthier than you and I, right?
Yeah, probably.
That he can. How long can you skate?
I have been on this low carb diet for a little while.
But how long can you skate?
Oh, I don't know.
How long can you skate full speed?
Once down the ice.
I can't. Here's the thing. I can't even stand on fucking skates. So,
right.
My ankles would break.
I want to see that. We need to get that on video.
No, it's bad news. I'm uncoordinated as hell. I can't. I'm meant to be on my feet. That's it. And so this guy's 36 years old. He's a picture of health. He's right. Not expected at all.
Right.
And he has a heart attack. Basically has a heart attack. We don't know cardiac
exactly
event,
but
let's call it a heart attack, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying.
Right.
I'm 45-year-old, overweight, don't skate, don't have a real exercise protocol.
Yeah.
And I'm on borrowed time here. This son of a bitch is healthy as hell. And
I know.
It's terrifying.
Right. They should have stopped the game. I don't know why they didn't stop it sooner. They should have. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's tied, right? It's tied 1-1.
Yeah, and apparently they're just starting over.
They'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Will they start over, or I think they'll pick it up?
I saw that they said they were going to start over. Probably because it was tied.
Because it was tied. Fuck it, right? Start the new game.
Yeah, I know. Out of the 20-something thousand people, 90% of them are either season ticket holders or this is not their first game. They're going to come back. They'll probably even go to that game that's going to be made up.
I think that
but there's a handful of people there. They go to, maybe this might have been their first game ever. They go to one game a year. I know, but they took off work. They traveled from Memphis or something.
Yeah, life's a bitch.
Now they're not going to get to see it anymore.
Life's a bitch.
Apparently.
Deal with it.
And then you die like almost Jay Bouwmeester.
Yeah, well, but
it's fine.
Tough shit.
I guess I'm just an asshole.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, on that one you kind of are. In the grand scheme of things, what's more important? So you missed a hockey game. You probably, even if you can't make it, you could sell your tickets. You're going to get some money. Maybe you buy tickets to another game later on when you can make it. Yeah. Shut up.
So a buddy of mine, a coworker, just went on vacation to the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm. Punta Cana?
Yeah. And
everybody goes to Punta Cana.
On his way back, they were about to arrive in O'Hare in Chicago. And he got up from his seat to go to the restroom, and he fell over in the aisle, and his heart stopped, apparently.
Wow.
And they were, I think they were using the paddles on him too. Maybe not, but I think so. And so he said he was kind of in and out of consciousness. He heard them saying they didn't have a pulse, whatever. And eventually, after a minute or so, they revived him and, kind of got him going again. And then, of course, he said apparently they were like 45 minutes out of Chicago, and they ended up getting there in like 10 minutes. Like they said,
"Oh wow,
everybody out of the way, clear." Yep, they said we're putting this thing in overdrive, basically. Clear all the lanes. We're coming in, and they said they got in right away. And anyway,
you can't make that too public. Now people are going to be faking heart attacks all the time on airplanes, and just to get landed quicker.
He said he went to the hospital. They did all these checks. Everything, MRIs, cardiograms, radiation, all this shit, checking everything they could, and they found nothing. They cannot find anything wrong with him. As far as they can tell, he's fine. But his heart stopped.
Well, I tell you, I don't know.
And he's like our age. He's 47 or something like that.
I when I fly, as I get older, like didn't used to have problems. Used to be my only problem was my ears, and everybody has the same problems.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure changes and your ears pop, and so you chew gum. Or my thing is I yawn. I look at a light, it'll make me yawn, and my ears pop, and it fixes everything. It works.
A light makes you yawn?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know. It does. But yeah, so I yawn, ears pop. It's great. And so that doesn't bother me anymore flying. But now, then my fucking feet would swell. So.
Really?
Yeah. And
pressure change or
something?
something?
I guess. Yeah. And so I hear about people having to wear like compression socks and shit like that. I'm like, I'm not that fucking fat. What the hell, but I've noticed like if I wear dress shoes on a plane that they get real tight, so I have to loosen the laces and everything. Right. So I just try not to wear dress shoes anymore. I just wear sneakers or whatever. And I never had that problem anymore. But I also had a problem with I have like tightness in my chest. I've started to feel. And so just that's a most recent one, but it concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, I know every little thing
goes away
that you feel now makes you worried. Right?
Well, then you hear about someone having a heart attack on a plane, and then I think about my chest, feeling tight on a plane. It's like, oh, that's okay. Now I'm even more fucking terrified. Thanks a lot.
My two best friends, their dad died when they were little, and the younger of these two brothers, just. I think this year surpassed the age that his dad was. And so it was kind of a celebratory thing, but it was also like they've had their fingers crossed for years now. Like, God, I hope, we don't get what he had, that kind of thing.
But you got to look at that, right? I mean, you're, I don't know how the genetics work on that, but you look at your mother's father or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, how old was that prick when he died?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Did you just call my grandpa a prick?
I call my grandpa a prick.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. I just noticed a little while ago, and I was going to wait for my lovely wife and our assistant to come down. There was some cleaning up that went on down here, but you notice all the stuff on the shelf is very precisely placed, and it's very podcast oriented. It's got the beer mugs. And the microphone and the beer and the.
There's a method to the madness here, I presume.
It was a little more cluttered before.
All right.
Looks good.
Does look good.
And we should tell our listeners who are no longer viewers, we are not videoing this podcast.
Yep. You fuckers didn't watch enough, so screw it. We shut it down. Fuck you.
We'll still probably will every so often if we have a guest that's important and attractive.
Who would that be?
I'm not sure.
Porn star, maybe?
Well, you know, if we can.
Important and attractive.
We've got a lot of
That's
feelers
a high
out
bar.
there. A lot of feelers out there.
Well, definitely male. I mean, I'm not, we can't have any temptation in here. We've by the way, Kristen's question was female or male. I think we know where her interests are. Yeah, and
we'll video some, but not every episode. We were doing all the main ones. And
video opportunities, potentially.
Well, I wasn't in love with what we had done with video. It was just very kind of boring, and it was we had to zoom out so far to get all of us on frame that it just didn't look appealing. It was like no point to it. So we'll do some video.
Is that we're just not very exciting to look at.
Well, you know,
that's not. We
could use a few sit-ups.
It's not untrue.
But anyway, so video will come back every so often, just not every episode.
Right.
And then you can listen to the sultry sounds of our voices instead of looking at our ugly mugs.
It's probably better that way.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? How much?
I don't know. I mean, we're only like a half hour in.
Okay. Well, I did have. Well, I don't know if we want to talk about this, but there's one thing that I wrote down.
Go.
So, when's the last time you? So we live in Waterloo, Illinois, and there is a movie theater in our wonderful little town, and it has how many theaters in there? Like 10?
8 or 10.
10 theaters, whatever. It's nice.
Yeah.
Some of the theaters are bigger than others, but they all have the nice, cushy seating. None of them recline or are heated or anything like that, but they're big, fluffy,
nice leather,
black leather chairs, and the screens are nice. Used to be really shitty when I moved here.
Yeah.
Like the seats were terrible. They were very 80s, 70s, 80s. The ceiling you could see all of the spit wads and gum.
That had like rainwater. They had buckets hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah,
it was water.
Bad.
It was
but the gross thing was that there was like definitely like spit wads and like kids. And like every once in a while one would fall down. It was fucking gross, And anyway, so they've made a very
it's much nicer now.
Good effort to improve it, and they've done a good job. And two of my sons have worked there or are worked there. Well, one still works there. The other one used to. I don't know if he's quit or officially resigned or not, but may not go back to work there. We'll see. Anyway, it's a good company. I think they got their shit together. So we usually go to movies there.
Okay,
and
I do a lot more now. Yeah,
and I get a really good deal.
I'll bet you do.
I get good prices, and I get usually I get a free Coke or they'll bring me some popcorn or something like that. They'll bring it into the theater, and I don't think they're breaking any rules. It's just that's what they could.
It's who you know,
right? And so I can go to the movies, me and O, for example, and it will cost maybe $12. Done. $12. Nice. I got popcorn. I got soda. Both of us got a seat.
Yep.
Done.
Yep. That's awesome.
That's great. And so anyway, the Big O wanted to go to an arcade. It was President's Day yesterday, and he's like, "I want to go to an arcade." He got in his head. There's a pinball place. I forget where it's at. I'll have to look up where it's at. But apparently, they got a whole shitload of pinball machines. And he wanted to go there. They only open on Saturdays. So I was like, I can't do that on Monday.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we can do. So he wanted to go to an arcade. Not a lot of arcades around.
Right.
So I was like, well, we can go to the arcade at Ronnie's, which is Ronnie's Theater in St. Louis. Now Marcus Ronnie's, used to be Warenberg Ronnie's. Right. And I know they got an arcade.
Ronnie's 20, I think.
Yeah,
that's a big
Ronnie's
old
a
complex.
shitload of theaters. And I was like, we can go there. They got an arcade. You see a movie.
Yeah.
All good. And so we did. I hadn't been there since they got bought by Marcus.
Oh, okay.
They've done a beautiful job.
Yep.
It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They have a full service restaurant. There's nobody in there, but they have like a bar restaurant in the front of the joint. The arcade is significantly smaller than it used to be. Not as exciting as it was.
Yeah.
They got something upstairs, like a party area upstairs that used to be, I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
They had the drive-in area, like where they had old cars, like half cars and stuff like that. That's shrunk down a little bit. All the theaters are very well done. They had heated leather seats. Everything's IMAX.
Reclining.
I think they're all IMAX.
Not
all
IMAX. They're all digital, and because IMAX is the super tall.
A lot of them are fucking IMAX. I mean, we were in. I think the standards of IMAX have changed. I think they used to be the crazy like Science Center type IMAX theaters. I think the standards have changed. It's a lot about sound. It's about the reflectivity of the screen, if that's a word.
It is now.
That kind of shit. So anyway,
okay,
we go. We were going to see the Birds of Prey, And we did see Birds of Prey. So we get there.
So you're the one.
There was a decent amount of people in the theater.
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrible movie either. I didn't hate it. It was entertaining, but that's another story.
Okay.
$27 for 2 tickets.
Wow.
$13.50 a ticket.
For the tickets?
For the tickets. Just for the tickets.
Jesus.
Yes. So then I spent $10 in the arcade, so we're at $37, and then I spent another $14 on popcorn and a soda. So what are we at now? I forget. A lot. It's a significantly more expensive movie theater experience. And I was like, what the hell? Seriously? Every time I turn on, I was like, man, this is ridiculous. I mean, you take for granted what we have over here. So I'm like, but it's a nicer theater. It is. It is a nicer theater.
It is.
And they have more options. They have more movies. But when it was all said and done, and we had gotten done watching our movie, I was like, is it worth it? No, it's not. And I would pick the Waterloo RMC theater every time over going over there again. I don't give a shit. I don't know what they could do to entice me to go over there and spend that kind of money again, even if I had to pay full price at Waterloo.
Stars.
Yeah, no. That stuff's free on the internet. No, I don't. There's nothing that could entice me to go over there, unless I had like crazy discounts or something like that. But
I guess
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I generally don't go over there anymore, but it's mostly for just convenience. So if I'm gonna go see a movie, it's 5 minutes. It's right up the street. I can, Now I will say though, it's the different experience though is those Marcus theaters are reserved seating now.
Yeah.
So you can get your tickets in advance. You pick the seat you're going to sit in.
Right.
Which has its pluses and minuses.
It didn't
if
matter
you're early enough.
These fucking cackling kids in front of me. That
sucks.
Whenever I picked my seats, there was nobody. All those were available.
Right.
I specifically picked these seats because there was nobody around me.
Yeah.
Now maybe they came in after me at the last minute. I doubt it. Why would they pick seats right in front of 2 people? Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Unless they're assholes. So that means they're sitting in the wrong fucking seat.
It could be.
So yeah, the whole assigned seating thing's bullshit too.
But like I'm talking
but
on
I guess
like
if it was a
opening night of a blockbuster movie and you want the perfect seat.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I
anyway.
like being able to go get in line early.
Yeah. And
be the first in line and go in.
Yeah, I guess
get
if I wanted to see
seat.
some premiere that I know there's limited seating for, then that would be a benefit. But I'm not going to put myself in.
I'm that guy.
I don't want to be with those people. Meaning you.
Those people. What does that mean?
Premiere people, the people that stand in line for an iPhone or stand in line.
I don't want to wait a week and avoid spoilers and
it's
all
not that
this
hard.
shit on. It is hard.
No, it's
when
not.
You're on the internet. And
well, get off the fucking internet.
Well,
yeah, you got issues. But I'm surprised you haven't seen.
People are with me.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah, you haven't seen it.
No, and I honestly
I don't
think it looks that good.
It's actually not bad.
Just like maybe if it is good, I'm glad and I want to see it. But the trailers didn't do it for me. I was just kind of
wasn't terrible. I don't think I've seen a trailer for it. But I don't watch trailers.
Do you watch trailer reactions?
No. No, that you have an illness. That's
an illness.
That's a problem. We probably need to have an intervention for you. No, it was a fine movie, and I think a lot of what I'd heard is that it's a feminist yay girls movie, and it kind of is. It certainly is, but it's not bad though. It was and
that's not even what would bother me about it necessarily. But
no, the only thing that bothered me about it is that it was a whole movie, 2 hours in Gotham City. And never saw a sign of Batman, the Joker, or Commissioner Gordon, or anybody. It's like, wait, how do we look? There's some real shit popping off in fucking Gotham here, and we're not seeing any of these assholes.
Yeah.
Come on,
right?
For fucking continuity's sake, we got to see a glimpse of the fucking bat signal.
It should have been in a different town if you're gonna have this be believable.
So that was a little problem I had with it, but I was like, all in all, it wasn't a terrible story.
I think
it's an interesting backstory for this Birds of Prey, which is, I guess, I don't know if it existed in comic books before.
Yes, not in this iteration or version, but yeah, it did.
Where it's this group of Avengers-ish, all-female, badass
come on
superheroes.
Now. Avengers-ish.
Well, I mean,
they wish.
What else do you call a group of what do you call them when they're a group of superheroes?
They superheroes.
Look, you're the one that calls Batman a superhero, and he's just a fucking guy with a magic belt.
Amazing. Come on.
Then you need to see the movie.
I do need to.
Because I don't think you're right. Are they super? Well, I tell you what. What's her name? The Black Canary.
Yeah.
Super.
Hmm.
Who else we got? The
Huntress.
The Huntress. She's just as super as Batman.
I need to see
She's
it,
just as super as Hawkeye.
Fuck you, Ryan. Just as super as Batman.
She has no fucking magical ability. She's not
she the
alien.
Greatest detective?
Neither is
Has she honed? Neither is Batman. Of course he is.
Then how come that motherfucker can't catch the Joker or the Riddler?
The Greatest detective. He's caught them many times.
Can't catch him.
It's not his fault. His fault. Arkham can't hold him in the cell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I guess I need to see it. Are you aware of the kind of disappointment that it's had at the box office and all that?
I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah. So
honestly, the only reason we saw it is because Oliver's seen every other fucking movie, which it's because of his brothers working at the theater.
Yeah,
that's there's nothing. Yeah, it's a great perk for him, but it sucks for me because when I want to go see a movie, he's like, "Well, I've seen that. I'm like, "Well, shit."
Right.
So I never get to see anything. So
it made a lot less money on this opening weekend than they expected, and it's tailed off quickly.
Yeah.
And there was this sort of surprise, like, oh, we don't understand why, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie was so popular in Suicide Squad. That's why we made this movie, that kind of thing.
Well, because she's not attractive.
Well, okay.
I mean, she's stunning. Margot Robbie.
She's amazing.
Is very attractive.
But so that's what I said. Nope. I was like, okay, you took a character from the Suicide Squad movie who was very sexy, very attractive in that movie, and portrayed to be so.
You fucked her up.
And
before she turned into, you think she's sexy as what the fuck's her name?
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. You think she's sexy as Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
See, I think she's disgusting,
dude.
I think her voice.
This will be the last podcast.
Her voice is disgusting. I don't like face tattoos.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I hate that. It goes along with that. Anybody in St. Louis who listens to that fucking Frank Lita commercials on the radio.
Oh, I fucking hate those commercials.
You'll never pay more than a dime. It's the same fucking voice.
I pay my taxes.
How do you like that?
I don't like that. I hate that.
Okay, but you like Harley Quinn is the same fucking voice.
Sexy ass.
No. Margot Robbie.
Hottie. Margot Robbie.
So take Margot Robbie in what's that? The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep, super hot.
Right. So that's
you got Harley Quinn in a cut-off shirt with basically underwear on as her bottoms, strutting around with her knee-high boot. It's like as sexy as it gets, right?
No, it's not. It's disgusting.
Okay, so
she could do better.
I'd
rather see
Ryan
her
comes out on the podcast
before she goes into the vat of acid. Hot as hell.
She's super
smoke
hot
show.
too.
The epitome of hotness.
Well, let's go with the rest of the world who
Harley
thought
Quinn.
she was hot. And
yeah,
sexy
I think you're wrong
as
on
Harley
that.
Quinn. Okay,
maybe no one's seeing the movie probably because people think she's fucking gross.
No, here's why, and I'm gonna tell you why. In Suicide Squad, as Harley Quinn, she's very sexy.
In your opinion?
In many people's opinion. In Birds of Prey, she's not wearing the hot clothes. She's not.
You haven't seen it. How do you know?
I've seen trailers. Some of us watch trailers.
She's wearing a lot of the same things.
Like weird looking shit. It's not the same. Since you didn't find her sexy in Suicide Squad, I know it ain't the same thing, and I can talk on it.
I watched them both. I think I got more of a base of evidence than you do. I've seen both the movies. You've seen one of them.
I've seen the trailers, and they give everything away in the trailers. They give everything away in the trailers.
Then why ever see a movie?
Anyway, my point is, she doesn't look nearly as good in this movie as she did in Suicide Squad. She's not even pretending to be. There's this sort of like flirtatious sexiness going on in Suicide Squad where a lot of the guys are like, oh my God, are we even supposed to be looking at this? Jesus.
Yeah, I think you're talking out of your ass because you haven't seen the movie. God. You don't know.
Okay. I mean,
Well, you don't know.
You're right. I'm basing it off of the 4-minute trailers that shows everything. And in that, she's not acting sexy. She's not wearing sexy clothes. Nobody's looking at her like she's sexy.
There's about 110 more minutes you need to go watch.
I'll give you that. I'm telling you why people didn't go see this movie. And that's why. Because in the trailers, none of that was portrayed. No. And I will also say the other female characters of this cast are not particularly attractive.
Oh, wow.
I find Huntress is, in my opinion,
You know, she
The
is?
other three are just like,
Not Huntress. Who's the one that plays Black Canary?
Canary
You know who she is?
Yes.
Jussie Smollett's sister.
No, I didn't.
Juicy Smollett. Yeah, it's his sister.
Maybe we've got our names crossed.
No, the Black Canary is the
not the black chick.
She is. Yes, she is. Well, she's mixed race, but yes, she is.
Okay. So that's what I thought. But then as I was reading about it, I was like, oh, they're saying Black Canary is the white chick.
No, that's Huntress.
Oh, that's what I thought. But as I was reading it, I know because I read it twice and I was like, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know either of them. The only one I knew was the cop who is Rosie.
Yeah, and I don't like her either.
What's her name? Rosie something.
Perez.
Rosie Perez, yeah.
She's past her prime. And I know that character's supposed to be like not a young cop. It's an older cop.
Yeah,
but like,
she was actually, I kind of liked her character in the movie.
Know.
She wore a T-shirt the whole movie that said, I shaved my balls for this. It was fucking great.
All right.
Imagine there's going to be an uptick in sales on I shaved my balls for this T-shirts. Maybe that's what we should have named our podcast.
Huntress.
I think that was an option for the podcast at one point, was I shaved my balls for this.
You're right. I was, yeah. Okay, sorry. I had the names wrong. Huntress apparently is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which is the white chick.
Yeah.
But I know because I read it twice, confused, and maybe I was reading an article that was wrong, but I was like, Mary Winstead is Huntress? I thought she was, or is Black Canary? I thought she was Huntress. And I was, anyway, maybe it was wrong, but I read it more than once, confused by it. But anyway, okay, I don't find Mary Elizabeth Winstead all that attractive, personally.
Yeah, she has her moments in the movie, yeah.
And I did think the other chick is pretty hot. The Asian chick is only like 14 or something. She's not supposed to be hot, but whatever. Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
Well, she's not one of the birds
of prey. You've got an all-female cast movie, but portrayed by females that aren't all that particularly hot. And I know that's not necessarily what it's about, but it's like they're not even being asked to look that sexy and hot and attractive.
That's not what it's about, man. I think you're being a little bit of a.
I know.
You know, you're not.
But I'll also say that's just one thing. Then you got a villain that nobody's ever really heard of, the Black Mask.
Yeah.
Portrayed by a guy that's not particularly a great villain. Owen McGregor is fine, but like
he did a good job. I enjoyed his character.
Again, I have not seen this movie. I'm going off the trailers.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes along with the. It's like again what I was saying before. Hard to believe that the Batman and or that nobody else shows up. Now, whenever the shit that happens, it's like, come on, really?
I did read that he did a good job as a villain. Like they said, he was a good villain. So I do kind of want to see it for all this.
Yeah.
But then you also got, they're kind of anti-heroes, right? So they're bad guys doing good things, right? These aren't necessarily heroes in the sense of the Avengers.
Who are we talking about?
The female cast, yeah.
They're not bad guys. No, they're bad. They're not doing good things.
Well, I mean, but they're the heroes of the story, right? I mean,
but they're still villains,
right. So that would be an anti-hero.
I mean, it's the same as the Joker. You know, the movie.
But he's.
It's like you're rooting for the bad guy.
Right.
You're You know, it's
I guess.
Breaking Bad.
I don't know that you're.
Really,
I mean, yeah, I guess you're rooting for him, kind of. In this, you're definitely
Sure. And the Joker.
I mean, are you rooting? You're just observing. You're not rooting for him to murder the guys on the train and like start anarchy in the streets.
Well, you definitely. I think the beauty, and I just recently watched
alert, by
the
way.
Joker, the latest one with Joaquin Phoenix, and I watched it on the airplane on the way home, which. Well, I think it was edited a little bit because it was an airplane version of the movie, but it was. I get the gist of it. And it was a good movie. I don't think it was what everybody like. Oh my god, masterpiece! I don't think it was that good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I found myself rooting for him, but also having empathy for him because he's fucked up. He's had a rough life. He's seen some shit. He's dealt with some shit. Now he's not dealing with it well. He's doing really bad shit. But I thought it was a really good story, a backstory that makes you understand. Like, all right, this is how we got here. This is why he is as fucked up as he is.
But it doesn't. When you say you're rooting for him, you don't get that like vindication and like satisfaction of like, yes, good one out. You know, you're just like, oh Jesus, Wow.
Did you
Look
watch
at where this ended
No,
up.
you're right. I mean, it's different. It's definitely different.
I think
you're
people
conflicted.
People want that as much as there's a lot of anti-hero stuff going on right now. So Suicide Squad is the bad guys being the heroes.
Okay.
Venom is what seems like a bad character who ends up being the hero. Birds of Prey, there's a lot of that going on. Even Joker to an extent. And I think as much as people are interested in that and they will go see it, that's not what you intrinsically want to see. You want to see the hero win. You want to see the good guy defeat evil.
Then DC's got it wrong because they keep putting out movies that are just
being
focused
disappointed every time. Well, box office shows.
But then even whenever they put the hero out there, when they put the Batman and Superman out there, they don't fare as well as what they expected to.
They're fighting each other and they're angry and they're not, I mean, if you
even the Superman solo movies and the Batman solo movies haven't done as well as what you've seen on the Marvel side of things.
The Dark Knight movies were huge.
Well, true. But that's how long that's been 10 years at least, right? Yeah.
It has. The DC movies after Dark Knight have all been very dark and conflicted and they're not all just out to save everything. They're fighting each other and they're bickering and whatever. And they're trying. I get it. You don't want to just be
what they're missing?
Candy coated.
Let me tell you what they're missing.
Yeah, what do we got?
DC folks need to listen up. What does Marvel have that DC doesn't? Right, that's the main question here.
Billions.
Other than money and a better track record, and what does the
Scarlett
Christopher
Johansson.
Reeve Superman movies have that the modern Superman movies don't? And what they have is they have comedic timing. They have comedy. They have fun.
Yeah.
They're not. Darkness is good in some cases, right? But you're trying to appeal to this broad audience, right? You're trying to appeal to little kids and to old people, my dad, me, who know different variations of Superman and Batman. And you're trying to find that happy medium that's going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a little bit of darkness is fine, but you also want to have some lightness. You want to have some happiness.
Agree. You want definitely.
And look, if you look at Marvel and you see how much comedy is involved, there's a lot of jokes in Marvel movies,
for sure.
and some are just real subtle, like undertones, but it's fun. They're fun movies. So yes, there's some darkness and there's some bad shit that happens, but overall, it's great action. It's exciting. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It makes you smile. It makes you feel good. And I don't see that when you look at a Batman, or any of the DC movies, really.
So
recently,
if you had a movie that was all positive, it was all the hero doing good, saving the day, all that, it would end up being boring. It might be interesting or in the end you would be like, I'm glad he won, but it would be boring. And the way to make that more interesting is comedy. You break it up with humorous lines and it makes it more relatable. Here's this hero that we can't relate with. Oh, but he's funny, or he did this thing that's funny, or somebody around him, or whatever. And it just kind of breaks. It's timing. It requires good comedic timing, like you said. But that's what makes that movie good. If you had a dark movie where there's some serious shit going on, and then you break that up with comedy, the same kind of thing, it almost feels creepy.
Well, it'd be disjointed.
I'm laughing at this.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's the challenge. That's the challenge of a good filmmaker is to. And I don't know shit about making movies, but I mean, it seems easy when you just talk about it.
Yeah, we could make a good movie. I'm sure.
But I think that there's sure. I don't know if we could find the talent, acting talent. Downey is busy, I think, but no, I think that
I don't know.
That's the challenge: finding that balance, that magical concoction that is, just enough humor and just enough, tragedy, if you will. Like even with spoiler alert, but with the end of the Avengers and Stark dying, and you see this, there was still it was still a lightness, a happiness.
Yeah,
I mean, it was sad. It was everybody knew it was the end of it, and it was like, but there was still some not comedy necessarily, but just a happiness, just a comfort. Plus we everybody that's a fan of the franchise it became like family, became like, all right, you knew all these people and you felt comfortable. So anyway, that's I think what's missing on the DC side. We know the characters, especially people, older folks. It's like, we've known Batman and Superman and all these people for a long damn time.
Yeah.
You just got to make them relatable to the masses. You can't just make them relatable to the weird kids with, the goth kids with face tattoos. You gotta broaden your base a little bit, So apologize to anybody out there with face tattoos. Don't mean to be offensive, but you're a dumbass for getting a fucking face tattoo. Yeah.
Okay. Changing topic here. Changing pace quite a bit.
Changing your plans for this weekend. You're gonna cancel that face tattoo appointment.
I gotta call a guy. Hold on. Well, you talked about dark content a little bit. We watched, and I think you've watched some of this at least, because I think we've talked about it. The Mindhunter series.
Yeah.
Are you all up on that?
There's been 2 seasons. Caught up, but I watched the first season. I think I started to watch the second one. I don't remember where I left off, but it's pretty good though.
It is. The second season, I won't go too far into if you haven't seen it all, but the overall topic is the Atlanta child murders.
Don't know anything about it.
I didn't really either, but apparently it's a real thing. So the whole time I was watching it, I was like, is this a true story, or are they inventing stuff to... Because I know a lot of what they talk about in the show is real, is true serial killers and stuff, but I didn't know anything about the Atlanta child murders. So it was like 1980-ish, 79 to 81, I think, was when that time period took place. So you don't know anything about it?
No, nothing about it.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was going to talk about, was do you know anything about it? Did you know anything about it?
Have you looked into like the real story? Have you
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And I think they stuck pretty close to what really happened. I mean, it's, they're going to obviously be dramatic about it, but it's pretty interesting. It's pretty scary.
The show
evil.
is based on these things. There's a semblance of truth and a semblance of the real story in there, but it's not really the real story.
No. So, I mean, the overall premise of the whole show is the foundation of the behavioral science unit of the FBI, right? And studying serial killers. Now, the 2 main characters that are in it are not real people, but they're based on, I'm sure, some stories of real people.
An amalgamation of other characters,
I'm sure some of what they did is based on reality, but, I don't think these same guys did everything that they're doing in the show. But anyway, but it's creepy. I mean, it's like the stuff that happened in these Atlanta child murders was like, it's hard to believe that so many kids disappeared and died without anybody really doing anything about it. I mean, they looked into it, but it was
the
like...
parents would probably disagree, but
that they didn't do anything about it?
I'm sure the parents probably did. The people that loved the children probably did. But, but like the police...
I'm saying like the police and all that. I mean, they did some, but it's like there was this constant like denial of what was going on.
Right.
And even in the end, like, well, I won't tell you.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
It's just like, man, it's so disturbing to think that shit just went on for... It was something like
all of that shit
20-something kids over a matter of 2 years. I mean, that's a lot. That's 2 kids
all
a
that
month.
Shit is really... Like, anytime there's kids involved...
No, 1 kid a month.
So, there was... I don't know how many years ago it was. It was maybe 15 to 18 years ago. Let's see. Maybe even longer than that. I don't know. There was a little girl that was abducted here in the St. Louis area, I think in Fenton. And anyway, I don't remember her name, which is unfortunate because everybody probably should, because it was tragic. But they found her in like a glass factory.
Huh.
This is graphic, but this is what I remember of the story. And she was killed in this abandoned building, and her head was bashed in with like a brick or something like that. And it's fucking just gut wrenching, right? To hear that. And I remember when the news came out, and I had. So I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was because it hit me so hard because of my nieces or because of my own kid. So I'm thinking it was either like late 90s or it was early 2000s. But whatever it was, it made me think like, holy crap, I have a child that age. And I think the child was like 6.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it was my nieces is what I related it to, is like, oh my God, I have a 6-year-old little person that I love. And I can't imagine what is going through this little person's mind as this person that they don't know is killing them.
Are you going to make me say it?
Is killing them. What's going through the mind is...
I won't say it.
Yeah, don't say it, because you're in a rare form tonight, dude. But no, I mean, what's going through the mind is just confusion, and like like little kids, 6 years old, all they know is love. All they know is, in most cases, I think, maybe there's some deviant little fuckers out there, but for the most part, little kids just know like, oh, okay, I want to have fun. I like candy. Everybody likes me. I like them. I like to smile. I like candy. That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then you have someone bashing their fucking skull in with a brick, and it's like, and you have, I had nothing but anger. I wanted to find that motherfucker and kill him. I wanted to go make him feel 10 times the pain that child felt. And so anyway, get my point. Watching shows like that, they fuck with me. I think they fuck with a lot of people. That's kind of, maybe they see enjoyment out of it, is that you get the emotion out of it. And, but man, I don't know. I don't know that I can handle when kids are, it's like, it's not any better whenever adults or teenagers or 20-something girls are involved. Like, that's a lot of the murder cases that were covered in the first one, I guess, was young girls, like teen, college-age girls in that. And same with, the other... the Bundy, the Bundy tapes and stuff like that. Right. So we enjoy that, and we enjoy watching the story, but you don't enjoy the tragedy of it.
Yeah.
But it's, for some reason, it's a little bit easier to take.
Well,
than it is whenever it's little kids.
I definitely,
little helpless, innocent
I went
fucking
through
kids.
that phase too. I don't know that I don't react this way, but I can't really remember the last time I did. But I do remember specifically, I would say about 10 years or so ago, when our kids were in that 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old phase of reading stories like that and just wanting to get up out of my desk and go kill this person. Like, let's go, Ryan. Let's find this fucker and get him. That kind of thing. And, and it's probably, like you said, our kids were that age and you identified with it a little bit. But
I think, even now my kids aren't that age. If I was to hear something like that, it would still just infuriate me to the same degree. I think so. I hope so.
Now we have a podcast and it's like, I don't know.
But I hope so. I hope that anybody that hears something like that's just, it's fucking terrible. Everybody should be infuriated by it and want to go do something about it. But anyway, to the point you were making is that you said however many months or years that nothing was done about these things. I think that's the kind of, we all say we hate the internet and social media and what it's done, but that's kind of also the beauty of social media.
Yeah.
The other side of that coin is that we can get stories like that out there and tell people.
It's going to be hard for that to happen again for dozens of people.
No, we've talked about that before about Bundy, that there's no way he could get away with what he did because news would travel so fast nowadays that there's just no way.
Everybody's got a Ring doorbell and you can, Amber Alert,
I've read an article today, I didn't read the article. I saw the headline about the surveillance state that we're all in because of Ring doorbells
so there's a flip side of that. So I've seen one thing that was like somebody is suing. It might have been like a former software developer was suing Amazon or thinks people should sue for the Ring doorbell invading your privacy, basically. So like we have a Ring doorbell, but our next door neighbor might not, but every time he comes home, he shows up on our doorbell or whatever. And so now Amazon knows when that guy gets home every day or whatever, right? And so there's all this data. Oh yeah. There's all this data being collected about everybody against their will. That's going on anyway, but now it's like there's video evidence of shit.
It'd be interesting to see what Amazon's response or what Google's response to, because Google has Nest. It'd be interesting to see what their response is to that. No, we don't care about it. We're only tracking you.
Right.
We and you've signed agreements. You clicked OK 18 times whenever you set up the doorbell. But the guy across the street from you didn't. And bullshit if they're not. I think for certain they're tracking his ass too. And
but on the flip side of that, I just read an article yesterday that was talking about some police department. I want to say it was in Florida or something, but they were saying they've had zero convictions or arrests or whatever based on Ring camera data. Yeah, they said it hasn't helped at all. And they've even there's been police departments in some areas that sign up for a service to partner with Ring to get that content given to them. And they said it's not amounted to any arrests. Now they said
they're doing it wrong.
Some of that could be well, that's the thing. They said some of it could be it's a deterrent. So now that people know they're on camera everywhere they go, they're less likely to bust down your front door. But then they were like, sometimes we couldn't see who it was, you couldn't make it out, or they got in before the cameras came on, that kind of thing. So they were just like, it's not nearly the help that Ring wants you to think it is when they're selling it to the police department or whatever. But this was one particular area or whatever. So maybe it is helpful. Hey, pipe down over there. What do they call that? The crowd in the back?
Peanut gallery?
Peanut gallery.
I think that's racist. You can't call it that anymore.
Sorry. I also sent the OK sign to Ryan tonight, and he's
also racist.
You racist.
Yeah, Did we went over there, right? Peanut gallery is racist
did go
somehow.
over that, yeah.
I'm not sure how, though. I forget. But
I think it had something to do with they used to force African Americans to sit in the back or something like that of a theater or something,
remember.
and then I don't know where Peanut came in.
But if you hadn't caught on, Kristen's down here, and she's chirping over here, and then she's playing with her phone.
She said she was going to come down.
She's
and take
playing Angry Birds or some
photos.
shit over there. Or
well, Ryan said we're losing Instagram followers. Like,
yeah, they're dropping like flies. But
bleeding them out.
She turned on her phone, and there was some porn still playing that she forgot to turn off. I don't know what's going on over here. Oh, so she's okay.
Oh, speaking of probably what I know,
our listeners love this whenever they can hear everything she's saying so clearly.
I'm sure they can't hear it at all. That's fine. But you were listening to the Rizzuto show, which reminded me of the radio, which reminded me of the fucking shows I listen to in the morning and the afternoon swapped. The fucking Fast Lane is in the morning.
Oh.
And Bernie's in the afternoon.
Oh.
But in the morning, I wouldn't listen to Bernie. I listened to 590.
Okay.
And in the afternoon, I listened to the Fast Lane. Well, now the shows I listen to in the morning are at the same time. So fuck me.
Yeah. Well, they both have podcasts, don't they? So you can listen to them after the fact.
Yeah.
Which is probably a better experience anyway because you can skip all the commercials.
Right.
So I think your problems just got solved.
Still don't like it.
Yeah. Also, who listens to AM radio anymore? Now, I used to be a big fan. I used to push AM radio and be like, oh, the nostalgia of it. I love the sound of KMOX, 1120 Cardinal baseball. There's a certain sound and warmth to it. Fuck that. I want my shit to be crystal clear. And I changed out
Drive under an overpass.
Well, right. I changed my antenna on my truck because it got bent. Yeah. I guess from going into too many garages or whatever. Right. And so it was a little bent. That was the real excuse. I bought a little stubby antenna, little short plastic, whatever, stubby antenna. And I don't know how, it's maybe 8 inches tall or whatever.
Okay.
And they say you're gonna get the same reception that you do.
It's not as good.
It is. It's fine on FM. Perfectly fine. Works perfectly fine on FM. But AM sucks. Because AM, I think you really need that big antenna.
You still listen?
Yeah, but who listens to AM? But and I don't listen to it a lot, but every once in a while I'll go on there and I'm like, oh shit. So then I just, there's, and a lot of those AM stations now they have a simulcast on FM. Not all of them, but some of them do.
Yeah, and the show I listen to does have a podcast, but you got to wait an hour or whatever, and then they post it. It's fine.
Another thing, I catch myself, I do listen to podcasts, still other podcasts, but I listen to a lot of music.
Wait, what?
I listen to, mostly music. Big, man, it's amazing how you get into like wormholes.
Huh.
All right, we're way over time here, right? But, you get down these like, it's amazing how you get interested in things, are re-interested in things.
Yeah. So
this is a morbid story. I saw a post on Facebook, of all things, from a friend of mine notifying his followers that a friend of his, who also was a friend of mine, had passed away. Guy my age. Actually, I think he's a year older than me, maybe a year or two older than me. But he grew up down the street from me. We grew up in the same neighborhood. We played baseball together in the street. We played football in the backyards, and he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he's dead. And that sucks. But I was like, dude, I kind of forgot about the guy.
Right.
To be honest. I mean, it's like not someone I would think about. And he seems like, oh, fuck, I remember that guy. Yeah. We had fun together. But it's just like you don't think about him until you see his name. So, and the person who was posting that he had passed tagged him. Like, so you could
deceased?
The deceased, right? So you could click on his profile. And I was like, well, let's see what that motherfucker's been up to. So I click on it, and he was, I remember this from whenever we were kids. He was a skater, punk music listener, artistic type of fella.
Yeah.
But also he was an actor, a child actor. He was actually in a movie, and like a television movie that was like on CBS after school special type movie.
Yeah.
It was actually The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn he was in, from what I recall. Yeah. And wasn't there for very long.
Okay.
But he was in it. And he made a big deal of it. We all knew about it. Like, oh yeah, he was in it. Yeah. So anyway, he was into punk music but also rap and hip hop, but like 80s hip hop and rap, like early shit, and breakdancing, and he was an interesting fella. I remember being in the garages with that guy, attempting to breakdance.
Sure.
Well, none of us were good, especially me. But but even the guys that thought they were good weren't any good. And anywho, he had posted a link to a video that was, and you're not a Beastie Boys fan at all, are you?
I mean, Sabotage, that's about
There's an album called Paul's Boutique, which is by some people's standards considered the Sgt. Pepper of hip hop.
What? Okay.
Well, if you don't know, you should probably go listen to it. It's very, very good. It is a
What's it called?
Paul's Boutique.
Paul's Boutique. Okay.
It's a great album.
Is there a single that I should know from that?
I don't know. I would doubt it. Probably not.
Okay.
But anyway, Blues just scored.
Sweet.
Anyway, he posted a video. If you know anything about hip hop music, and especially the Beastie Boys, they sample a lot. So they take a bit from whatever album it happens to be, and they pop it in there. So there's some James Brown. There's some there's all kinds of shit. This video took. This is a long way to go for this stupid fucking story. Anyway, this video takes every sample and plays the original cut from the original album. And there's like, oh, here's the original album, here's the artist, here's what album it's from, and here's how it is in the album. And it's like a half an hour or whatever video, but it was intriguing as hell because I was like, wow, no shit. Some of the stuff is like, never knew that song was in there, and you've heard it. It's like a Zeppelin song, or if it was like James Brown or something like that. You're like, no shit, who thunk, And then other stuff is like, I've never heard of that band, but now I want to go find that band. And they're like some early 70s funk band that nobody's ever heard of. And it was Mixmaster Mike found an album that he thought was cool, and he's like, I'm going to drop this in here and there. And but nobody owns that album. And anyway, that video, because I went to this dude's page because my other buddy told me that he died, has sent me on a Beastie Boys like voyage. And I was always a fan of the Beastie Boys since I was a kid, saw them in concert once, unfortunately only once.
Wow.
Yeah. And so now I've been kind of down this path over the past week or so, maybe a little less than a week, where I've been kind of just like this thirst for knowledge about everything Beastie Boys. And so MCA died. MCA is Adam Yauch. He died like 7 years ago, something like that, a long time ago. And so they're not done. They're done. The band's over. But the remaining members, they wrote a book a couple years ago, and now there's going to be it's on Apple TV. There's going to be a special called the Beastie Boys movie or something like that, or Beastie Boys documentary.
Wait, who's done?
The band.
The Beastie Boys?
Well, MCA's dead, so yeah, they're done.
Why was I thinking that the guy that died from the Beastie Boys wasn't even like part of the Beastie Boys anymore?
Because you don't know anything about the Beastie Boys. That's all right. You're not a fan. But he was definitely a very integral part of the band, of the group.
Wait, who? Yeah, I did. All right, fine. I'm going to read about the Beastie Boys tonight.
Actually, Amazon.
I don't really give a shit about the Beastie Boys.
No, and you may not, and that's fine. But Amazon has a...
why is it? I love the song Sabotage, and I hate all their other... I don't hate, but I just don't like all their...
It's not traditional hip-hop. It's more of a rock, punk song. It's not
traditional Beastie Boys, really. It's
it's what they did earlier. Like, they started as a punk band, and they were doing, like, hardcore punk music, and then they realized that they enjoyed doing a little bit of hip-hop, too. And then if you think about it, Fight for Your Right to Party is not really a rap song. It's a lot of punk.
Yeah. I don't love that either, but it's fine. It's better
No
than
Sleep Till Brooklyn is not a real... I mean, they're a weird... She's right there. How many does she need?
I know. Burst mode over here.
Jesus. You got counting my nose hairs. Anyway, Amazon has like a 15-minute little special, Amazon Music, and it's a video, and you can see it on YouTube, that's called Still Ill, I think is what it's called. And but also if you ask Alexa to play Still Ill, she'll play like a little podcast thing. I don't know how long it is. I haven't listened to it yet. I'd like to. And then, like I said, on Apple TV, they're coming out with a movie. It's actually, the movie's produced by Spike Jonze, not Spike Lee, Spike Jonze. And I think it'll be pretty good.
We'll check it out.
It's they're an intriguing group because they had such a long run with the same guys, same three dudes, and the same DJ, and the same producer, Mario Caldado. They were really good. So
I realized you mentioned Rush.
I didn't. Off camera.
Yeah.
Or off mic.
Yeah, they may not have heard that, but
Yeah.
Rush was brought up by one of our followers?
Stagehands.
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm hit and miss with Rush. Some of it I like, some of it I don't.
Okay.
And I told myself I'm going to listen to a bunch, all of the. I'm going to go through their albums, discography, and listen to Rush and just appreciate it. I've done that with other bands, and it helped me kind of become a fan. I can't do it.
Really?
I've tried, especially the older stuff.
Where'd you get hung up at?
Really don't like it.
I'd skip to the late 70s.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what I should have done, but then I feel like, well, okay, what am I doing? I'm skipping over who they are.
You wouldn't go back and
some of my,
like if someone wanted, if someone came to you and said, "Hey, you need to get up to date on Van Halen," they wouldn't send you back to Van Halen 1.
Well,
they would probably send you straight to 1984 and Women and Children First, which is yes, those are that's the pinnacle of Van Halen. That's where they finally.
Your sister would disagree.
No, I think she would agree with 84 was the pinnacle of the Roth era. So, but my point is that that early stuff, it was fine. It's good in hindsight. It's good, but it's not what made them. It's not what made them famous. Yeah, so you probably shouldn't start there. You should start with what made them famous.
I would say
Billy Joel. Here's another example. Billy Joel is great, but what do you know Billy Joel for?
His hot wife.
Okay.
Piano Man. So We Didn't Start the Fire.
So We Didn't Start the Fire was mid 80s.
Right.
Piano Man was actually early 70s.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it really hit mainstream popularity until the late 70s.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Matter of Trust was also the 80s. Anyway, he really hit his stride in the late 70s.
Yeah.
Sure. But if you were to go back and listen to Cold Spring Harbor, which is first album, you'd be like, well, I don't know. What's the big deal about this guy?
Well, for me, what it comes down to is Geddy Lee's vocals. I can't get past the super high stuff. I don't mind his lower.
You like Journey?
I mean, it's different. Journey's more melodic. He's singing love ballads and stuff. I don't love it, but I can do that over.
Love Dream Theater.
It's different.
It's not.
I don't know why. I know. I agree. I know. I mean, that's definitely the weakest part of that.
I don't even know what a song the Dream Theater sings.
No, you wouldn't know.
I've heard of them.
But they're highly influenced. They're strongly influenced by Rush. Like their main influence is Rush. And I love Dream Theater, and I get it. It's an acquired taste. But I don't know. I like a handful of Rush songs, and I can't make myself sit through an album. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
But their drummer was great.
Go to
Neil
2112
awesome.
or Exit Stage Left or Presto. Those albums are probably where, or if you just really want the nuts and bolts of it all, go to Chronicles, and it's like their best of. And go listen to Rush double album.
Yeah.
It's really good from start to finish. It's good. It's good songs. Now you're not getting the storytelling that existed within the albums, but it's still, you're going to get all the best songs, and you're going to get you'll get what you need out of it. But Rush there's
a lot newer. I mean, there's a lot of mid-80s.
I actually listened to and I own a lot of the albums from the more recent era, and I really enjoyed it. But it didn't get a lot of radio play.
No.
KC played it a little bit, but they didn't get a whole lot of publicity because it wasn't really mainstream stuff. But because it was so kind of artistic, the lyrics are very complicated and just it's storytelling. I mean, it's not. It's not stuff. It's not bubblegummy, It's not even metal where, just simple lyric. Not simple lyrics is probably the wrong way to put it, but understandable for the layman. Not that I would understand all of it either, but anyway.
Well, okay, we need to wrap it up soon. I did have one last question for you before we conclude this episode. You mentioned to us off the air that you were going to kind of put it all out there and
I don't know that I'll do
speak
that
your
anymore.
mind and fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, hindsight, not hindsight.
Are you going back on that now?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I thought about it a lot. I don't think I've ever held back a whole lot. I don't know that I'll drop names and shit. I don't think I'm gonna call out people. I know I said I would, but that's, you talk a big game when you got a few beers and you're sitting at a bar without a microphone in front of you. But look, there's shit that pisses me off about a lot of stuff. And I've said a lot of it on this show. I think that the next time something happens, and there will be a next time with whether it's the school board, if it's just the education system in our wonderful town and state, or the nation as a whole. Yeah, I'll talk about it. I've had a phrase. I got a lot of catchphrases, but one I love is it's really easy to argue when you know you're right. And I feel like I won't go on behind this microphone and start blasting somebody on the school board or a teacher in the school system or a program or a decision that was made unless
you're right.
Unless I have a really, really strong argument and I'm convinced that I'm right. So yeah, that's how you win arguments.
Sure.
If you know you're right, then you're going to you should be able to convince others that you're right. If you don't have, if you're not convicted that you're right, then yeah, you're going to lose. You're going to lose that argument.
We're generally right most of the time.
Well, I know I am. You have you got a questionable track record, but periodically you're right. I think that even if it's not the schools or if whatever it is, if it's the fucking mayor, if it's decisions, like one of the things I don't think I brought it up to you, but talking about local shit, these
my wife's tuning us out now.
These slot machines,
about how
these fucking video poker machines. Not everybody loves them. People love them. People go and play them constantly. Friends of mine do, and good for them. If that's what they enjoy doing, wonderful. I have to wonder is it good for the community? They'll make the argument. The advocates for it will make the argument. It's like, well, look, it's generating tax revenue. It's generating income for the city. It's done a lot of good things for the city, for the town square. There's given funds for beautification of businesses in town.
If that's how that works, and I think it is based on what I've heard, then I absolutely agree. Like, it's done wonders for downtown.
However, what's it doing? What's the impact on the people who are losing?
Right.
The people who are now
because all that money that's being spent on storefronts and whatever is money out of someone else's pocket who thought they were going to win, and now
there's a lot of people that can afford to make that to make that bet and to lose that money. But there's other people, these fucking degenerate assholes that are up at the gas station at 3 a.m. that they can't afford.
No, exactly.
To lose. They're up there trying to win back what they've lost at a fucking Circle K at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday night.
And I would say
that's just pathetic.
Those pathetic people, are not appreciating the new brick front of whatever bar downtown,
No, they can't afford to go there because they're fucking broke. But yeah, I mean, nobody thinks about the other side of it. People talk about like the lottery. I got nothing against the Illinois lottery or the Missouri lottery, any lottery for that matter. And most cases, lottery proceeds go towards education. I think in almost every state.
People would dispute that.
You wonder how much of it really goes to it. So, but that's how they always put it out there. Like, oh no, this is going to be good. We're going to put this out here, and it's going to help education. It's going to generate money. And what happens is people start to fiddle with the laws, and they start to dip into those pockets. And all of a sudden, now the education system's still fucking broke. The teachers still can't afford their Kleenex or their fucking dry erase markers, and I still got to go buy that shit for these poor bastards. But yet, the lottery was supposed to fix this shit 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, wonder how long it takes until the city of Waterloo or whatever other city allows these video poker machines in before people start dipping into the pockets and bad shit starts happening. And the money's not going where it's supposed to. Furthermore, how many fucking clocks do we need in town? These weird decorative clocks on the corner that I think that the article said it was like a $15,000 clock or something like that. I may be wrong on that number, but it was an expensive ass clock.
Cheap, yeah.
And it's like, what? It was just basically they had money.
It looks good.
No, it doesn't. Looks, I think people, it's out of place. You walk by, and you're like, what the fuck is that thing doing here? Did they just forget to take that down 30 years ago? Nobody looked. Probably half the people that walk by don't even know how to fucking tell time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of Illinois and taxes, I guess you saw they're letting Blagojevich out of prison, right? Trump's freeing him. Yeah. That's a whole other podcast.
That is, I don't know.
We'll go down
enough
that
said on that one.
Time.
I think he's whatever. Who cares?
I'm kind of at that point, and that's probably what got him out. Is like, who cares now? Like, really, this guy?
He's never going to hold office again. He's
he'll be on Celebrity Apprentice or something.
I don't even think is that even on anymore. I think what you'll see him on is like MSNBC or CNN or Fox News as a
he'll write a book
or something. He'll write a book or something like that. And he's a son of a bitch.
He'll probably start a podcast.
Probably. What is that I told you? Like 1 out of every 3 people in America have a fucking podcast?
Yeah.
This is another reason why it's really hard to sometimes to get behind this fucking thing. It's like, why do I...
Who's listening to this anyway?
If 33% of Americans have a fucking podcast,
Rod Blagojevich is going to step out of prison and overnight
what are we doing here?
He's going to have 1,000 times more listeners than we do.
So you can't care.
Fuck that guy.
So get back to how I started this before we even hit record. You just can't care anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to do it because fuck it. This is what I'm going to do.
Well, that's our new attitude on this show. Fuck it. We're going to say what we want. We're going to do what we want. We're going to schedule it when we want. We're going to take a week off when we want.
Maybe names will be named. Maybe they won't be. I don't know. I think if someone were to piss me off enough, I'd drop the name. But but I'm not going to go, just willy nilly and be a douche to people. I'm gonna make damn sure that I've got a pretty strong case.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are well into our first episode back. I don't even know what number. We need to figure that out. And
how long is this?
An hour and 22 minutes, man.
That's not bad.
No, it's not too bad.
I thought it was longer than that.
They're tired of us, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, they probably already turned us off.
Yeah, we started talking sports at the beginning. We lost half our listeners.
Well,
now we're down to a quarter.
Maybe people just missed our voices and they didn't care what we talked about.
It could be.
We could have come on and just read from the phone book and everybody would have been like, God, it's so good to hear their voice again.
Phone books are a waste of paper.
Well, some people would disagree. Some people say math books are a waste of paper, but I love math books.
Math books or math books?
Math.
Both are a
like
waste.
Mathematics.
Okay.
Yeah, like algebra. Yeah, they're not a waste of money because you know what? Kids need to learn math.
Yeah,
they're not learning math as well as they used to. You know why? Because they're trying to teach everything on a fucking Khan Academy video on the fucking internet. They need a goddamn book that teaches them repetition and how to do the problem, and they need to do over and over and over.
But you know what
again.
I use almost never? Calculus and trig and geometry.
Well,
very
very
rarely.
I don't either. But if you were an engineer, if you were an architect. If you were a lot of things,
those people need to know math.
You would need to know that.
No, I know, and it is. I agree. It's one of those things like you need to learn the basics of it to just see. Like maybe you would be interested in being an architect or an engineer because you found this interesting. Right. But if you never took a trig class or a geometry class, you would never be interested, or you would never be able to if you never.
Well, I mean, you might love it if you were taught it right and you were able to understand it. But if they're just saying like, here's the example, just go to this website and they're going to give you a couple other examples and good luck, test is Thursday.
Right. Yeah. I know.
Well, fuck. How are you supposed to do anything there,
Yeah.
So
it sucks.
I don't know. I
need to revamp the whole system, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been saying it for years since my
Montessori, that's where it's at.
I don't know about that either. I think that's a word that's been cheapened too, but and that's another topic for another day.
Yeah,
I'd love to get Dave's opinion on that too. But the whole book fee whenever you sign up your kid for school, if they charge you a book fee, get a fucking book. Also, teachers aren't teaching your kids anything, so sit down, do the math homework with them because there's no way they're going to understand it if you don't. Period. I got a kid that's about to, my second one, Chuck, he's about to take his SAT and ACT. And it's terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying whenever TJ did it too. But like I went on the website and looked at some of these sample questions and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't remember this shit. Right. It's like, I can't teach him.
It's been a long time. Oh, yeah, I know.
So he's got to go through some, and I don't think he's learned it in class either. I think the only way you're going to learn that stuff is if you go through a test preparatory program, whether online or in
coming
person.
Up, right? You sign up for that?
But that one's bullshit.
Oh.
I mean, it's $30 or $40 or whatever. No, it's junk.
Okay.
We know what they're going to do? Let me tell you what they're going to do, buddy. They're going to give you a video. They're going to give the kids a video to go watch. It's Khan Academy shit that you can go get for free. That's what they're going to do. Maybe they'll give them a worksheet or two. Someone will stand up in front of class like, so you really need to work on your managing your time. Common sense shit is what they're going to fucking say. And then they're going to give you a fucking link to a website. And they're going to charge you $30 or $40 for it. And we're going to pay it too. Because it's you got to start somewhere. But we're also going to go pay probably a lot of money on different, like the same thing we did with my older boy. We paid for him to go to a lady, and I think he was signed up for like 2 sessions a week that he would go and work with her one-on-one, but he could go as much as he wanted to. He wouldn't have one-on-one time with her, but she would say like, oh, you're here again? Here's some more practice tests. Last time you were here, you struggled with this. Take this practice test. Here, work on this. And and he improved. He improved 3 or 4 points on his ACT. So, and we paid good money for him to go through that program. What they're doing at the school is garbage. Most of what public education does to prepare your child for college or for life is garbage.
You went to public school.
I did.
I went to public school.
Yeah, it didn't do shit for me.
We turned. Look at this podcast.
Yeah. What do you? Yeah. I think that the majority of what makes us productive members of society is hard knocks and maybe what you learn in college.
Okay.
Maybe just life lessons. But. And also, I think school was different whenever we were in school. It was harder. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, we had to work a little bit harder.
We didn't have a lot of the other stuff going on.
Everything wasn't. It was all there for you if you wanted it.
No, I mean, we didn't have social media. We didn't have transgender this and
but you still had the social issues. You still had bullying.
You
still had
that and blah blah blah. And got to be in every.
Well, in your little idyllic world, maybe it was different, but there was still bullying, and there was still things that were going on that were distractions. It wasn't exactly the same. It wasn't cyberbullying, but there was shit that was happening.
There was for sure.
That could slow you down. That could distract you from your schooling. And there was drugs and alcohol and everything else. But I think that what they do have is that everything is at their fingertips. They never struggle to find any bit of information.
No.
And if they wanted to cheat on something, and at the blink of an eye, they could go fucking find their homework assignment and or something really close to it. And we had to work. We had to pay attention in class.
We had to try hard to cheat.
Well, yeah, but we had to pay attention in class so you knew how to do the problem. Or you knew how to diagram the sentence, or you knew how to whatever the case may be. You actually had to read the history book. You weren't able to just go and Google shit. You actually had to read the pages. Whenever it came to writing a term paper, you had to go to the library. You had to get the encyclopedias, and you had to do the research. Now everything is literally at their fingertips. It is extremely easy to get through primary education nowadays, and you can make of it what you will. Like there's some kids.
I mean, that's good though, right? Like, not that it's easy to get through it, but like,
the question is, what are they learning?
To get the information you need. Like
you would think that's a good thing, but they're also not learning anything. Well, they're not really learning it.
I mean,
look,
it's hard
watch
to say
some videos. Go out there and
25.
watch some videos out there about there's one specific where a guy goes and asks a history major. I forget what college campus they were on, but asked a history major what year the Declaration of Independence was signed. You know the answer to that? Please tell me you fucking know the answer to this. Oh my God, this may be a game changer for the whole podcast.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know what's on it, I think, unless it's a trick question, like, it was actually signed fully the next year by the rest of them. But
no tricks. Go ahead.
1776.
Yes, very good. Okay. A
like
history major.
You're setting me up here.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Sorry.
It's a legit question, right?
Yeah.
A history major.
Yeah.
Didn't fucking know that. Asked them who the 16th president. Who the 16th president is? 16th president.
Okay.
Oh God.
I mean, is it Lincoln?
It is Lincoln.
Okay.
Very
I mean,
good. Right.
But I only know that because it's like
who's the first president?
Well, Washington.
Okay. Who's the second president?
John Adams.
Okay. Can we go third?
Jefferson. Okay. John Quincy Adams.
All right. So that's
James
enough.
Madison.
So you're good, right?
But that's because some asshole teacher made me memorize that list one time. If you told me who's the 19th president, I'd be like,
it's a little tougher. I don't know either. I'd have
right.
to go refer to some shit, right? And you get into like Garfield. Fuck that. I don't know all this shit. So, but a lot of people think I'm an idiot for not knowing that stuff, which fine, fair enough. You're smarter than me when it comes to knowing your presidents.
Right, yeah.
I'll lose that battle. Now, here's another one I got. So we went to the History Museum, Missouri History Museum, and there's an airplane hanging there, and it's the Spirit of St. Louis. Have we talked about this?
I
think I might have mentioned
brought this up recently. Yeah, your kids.
So
you were saying they didn't.
There's the Spirit of St. Louis is hanging from the ceiling, and it's a replica. I think used to hang it at the Lambert Airport. The real one's in the Smithsonian, I believe, and so this is a replica.
In the airport too?
Used to be. I think this is the same one. That they moved it to the Missouri History Museum, and it's cool. And so I pointed out to my kids, and I'm like, "Look at that, Spirit of St. Louis." And I'm like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's Lindbergh's plane." They're like, "Who?" I said, "Charles Lindbergh. That's the plane that he flew across the Atlantic in." Like, I don't know what you're talking about. They look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm like, "Seriously, you don't know who Charles Lindbergh is?" And they're like, "No, never heard of him." I'm like, How about Amelia Earhart? You know who she is? Like, oh, yeah. She flew across the Atlantic. I'm like, what the fuck? So you know her? Like, well, she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic. I'm like, well, who was the first person to fly across the Atlantic? It was Charles fucking Lindbergh. Why don't kids know about that motherfucker? Why? I don't think it's a local thing. I don't think it's a St. Louis thing.
Get lost.
But exactly, he succeeded.
No,
he
that's
didn't
the thing.
Fail.
The only reason she's famous is because she disappeared on a global...
she didn't fail at crossing the Atlantic.
Right.
We're all fascinated with these murder podcasts and these tragedies. The Titanic and all this stuff.
Sure.
That's what we're fascinated with.
But shouldn't...
Because we're crazy.
Shouldn't we also be fascinated by... But we used to be, I think, when we learned history...
Achievement.
We used to be, fascinated by achievement. Yeah, by someone going into the great unknown and not knowing if they're going to make it out on the other side. And, you know, and this guy in 1927 decided an air flight was in its infancy. He decided he was going to try to fly from New York to Paris. And he did it. And everybody was like, holy shit, he fucking did it. In a plane named after our city.
I think part of that is it's the context. So, like, when it happened, it was amazing. And shortly after that, you were still talking about it because it was like, wow, he did it.
So I wonder how many
now,
kids...
if you said, hey, this guy flew from New York to England, you'd be like,
so
okay,
how many kids know who John Glenn or Neil Armstrong or, Buzz Aldrin, those people are? Do you think kids don't even know who that is?
At some point, you got to make the Mount Rushmore.
A failure.
Yes. I'm telling you. Well, JFK, everybody knows who that is because of what happened to him.
Well, sure, the tragedy that was with JFK. Yeah, I'm with you. But my point
I guess
is,
I'm not shocked when a kid doesn't know who.
But they should. And
why?
Because
you
they
can only
don't
take in so much information.
Because they don't tells me that the history teachers in American public schools aren't doing their job.
But because it was a big deal to you.
Well, it wasn't a big deal to me. It's just fucking history. I just know it.
But it's interesting.
I also
and you're like,
know a lot of bullshit about just Missouri history because I went to grade school in Missouri, and that's what they taught you. They taught you about the fucking Indians that lived in Missouri.
I know.
They taught you about the fucking mounds, and same thing happened in Illinois. I'm sure. We learned about shit like that because it was there, and we learned it, and I remembered it, and it's in there somewhere, and it's all floating around. It's like every once in a while you're like, oh yeah, fuck, I know that, and it's because we learned it. Now I'm saying that if you go ask, 25, 20-year-olds. Some of these same questions, they have no fucking clue because they didn't learn it.
Okay,
they muddled through.
But I guarantee
there's pushed through the school
something
system.
else they learned that we don't know, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck? You don't know this?"
Find out what that is.
Okay,
come on, come at me with that. Not you.
All right.
Anybody out there listening? If you think that the youths of America today are smarter,
don't you think your parents learned something in school about history from the late 1800s that we have no idea?
Maybe not my parents. I mean, I think there's a lot of similarities between the probably the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. There wasn't a big jump in technology. There wasn't. I mean, there was stuff that happened, obviously, the space age and stuff like that. But I'll go back to like my grandfather, my great uncle, and maybe even my parents. I don't know. But slide rules. I have no fucking clue what to do with a slide rule.
Right.
I mean, I look at that piece of equipment. I'm like, this is foreign to me. It looks like something out of science fiction. Yeah. But they know how to use it, or they did at some point. I have no fucking clue. So my great uncle or my grandfather,
should you be shamed for that or belittled?
Well, they should probably. Yeah, he'd probably be like, "How do you not know how to use a slide rule? Every kid should know how to use a slide rule."
And you'd be like, "Why would I know how to use a slide rule?"
Well, because I would say, I have calculators and I have other ways to find the solution to that problem. I don't necessarily need a slide rule.
Why would I need to know who crossed the Atlantic first?
Because that's just good history. But I'm also a trivia geek, and I like random bullshit knowledge, and I think that people should appreciate that. I think that people should know things.
I agree with you. I agree. We need to know our history, but there's a line, and that line might be Charles Lindbergh, where you don't know.
But why would I know that? Here's the question: why do people know Amelia? Why do the youths of America know? And maybe this isn't universal. Why do they know Amelia Earhart and not Charles Lindbergh? And I'm going to go on a little bit of a woke person
she's a
rant
woman.
Here because
stop it.
No, because they celebrated the woman's achievement. They said, "Oh, she was the first woman to cross the Atlantic."
I don't think that's what anyone knows her for.
I think it is.
They recognize her for being the one that disappeared mysteriously while trying to circumnavigate the globe.
My wife seems to think that the only reason people know her is because of Night at the Museum, too.
Well, that's part of it.
Because she was Amy Adams, and she. There's a looker. Yeah.
Yowza.
Yeah. But and that may be true. Maybe I'm completely off base on the whole sexist thing. But
I think you are.
yeah,
I think it's
know.
because she disappeared. Like you said, everybody wants to know that mystery and oh my gosh, what happened? She died. Is she dead? Maybe she's in South America with Elvis and Hitler.
Who was the guy that jumped out of the airplane with a bunch of money? What's that fucking guy's name? She's with him.
Right.
Living in Sheboygan.
What is his name? Why do we know that?
Yeah, what is his name? 2 initials and a last name.
J.R.
Nope. Fuck.
Dallas.
You know what we're talking about?
Yeah, the guy who jumped out of a plane with a bunch of money.
Yeah. I keep thinking W.C. Fields, but it's not that either. Fuck. Yeah.
Google
I've
it
also
real
had 4 beers.
Okay, we need to wrap it up. We're way over time. We promise we won't go this long all the time, but sometimes. And
it's been a while, though. So
it has been a while. We had plenty to say, I guess. And we're glad to be back. I hope that you're glad we're back. And if they want to hear more of us, if they can't wait for the next episode, how can they hear more of us?
Cooper.
DB Cooper. DB Sweeney.
Yeah.
I knew it was
DB
Sweeney. He's an actor.
Oh.
Come on, Ryan. Know your history, Ryan.
Yeah. What's he been in?
He was in a bunch of 90s.
He was in Fire in the Sky.
Oh, he was
Never
in,
seen it.
Oh, fuck you, Ryan.
Fire in the Sky?
Fire in the Sky is fucking awesome.
The Cutting Edge?
And stop it, The Cutting Edge.
That's
It's a figure skating
What
movie.
movies are you people watching?
I know him from.
Fire in the Sky. It's a true story about a guy that was abducted by an alien.
Wow.
It's great.
Was this something your mom
it's
made you watch
great.
because you couldn't
No.
watch real movies in the 80s?
It's super intense. It's super scary. Yeah. It's got a famous cast. Fuck you. All right. Fire
DB
in the Sky. Right in. DB Cooper.
Yeah. Anywho, how could they get a hold of us? Well, I don't know. I mean, we still have a Facebook. Do we have a Facebook? Fuck, I don't. Do we? All right. Load this podcast on all that shit. And our wonderful co-producer, Kristen, is about to post some stuff.
Shoot us.
They'll be gone before this.
Yeah, you won't see. See, the other thing about the other problem with Facebook is that
But get on there so that you will see
she'll
it.
post this shit now, but you'll see it like a week from now or something like that, where it's completely not fucking relevant.
Yeah.
Not your fault. It's because of the bullshit algorithms that are Facebook. It doesn't fucking work.
Well, just wait to post it.
The funny thing is that people will post news like, hey, breaking story, a car overturned on Route 3 or whatever, and then like 4 days later, you see it's like, it's not fucking breaking anymore, genius.
Breaking news.
Come on.
Man.
Twitter, I think, is breaking news. But even they fucked that up because you got to click that button up at the top that shows you newest shit first, right?
I hate when it's most popular.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. I want to see new. Yeah, I want to see new stuff. And I don't want to see trending because that's all a fucking lie too. Because you say like,
tell us what you want to see. Trending, newest.
Why don't you just tell us what you want to watch?
Yeah.
What was that for?
And I don't know. Anyway, all right.
Load this podcast on all that stuff.
Yep.
Load this podcast at gmail.com.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for trying to watch, even though that didn't work out for you this time.
Yeah,
And we'll be back. Until next time, I'm Jarod.
I'm Ryan. And that's Kristen over there. Say bye, Kristen. Yeah.
And get a load of this. I don't even remember the format anymore. Like, do we start talking for a while and then?
Yeah, we did. I don't, we don't need to have.
And now we're not going to have
outtakes
seasons anymore. Ryan's all.
This is wow. We can't. And look, man, you can do whatever you want. You're the the producer with all the power.
Guess so.
I'm just saying that. I don't know. We always ask ourselves like, how many episodes have we done? And we're like, I don't know. So if we just figure it out once for all, we've recorded. All right. Forget how many half loaded. Just period. Yeah. How many episodes?
I'm kind of with you there.
And then we just count up from there. So it was episode 147 or whatever
that is. Yep.
I have no idea where we're at right now, but just to give us an idea that, and then we're not worried about season this, season that, or whatever. And if we whatever take another break, then it doesn't matter. You just slide back into it. Okay. If there's a week where you want to do 3 or 4 episodes, fuck it, let's go. Not necessarily to publish them all in the same week, but if we wanted to just knock them out. I don't know, whatever.
We'll see. I think that's going to be the theme is whatever.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
We should maybe change the name of it to fuck it.
We tried that at the beginning, but then
fuck it.
I think didn't Apple shoot us down? Like we couldn't use curse words in the name of our podcast.
Well, it wasn't the name. It wasn't fuck it.
Like
that'd be.
Well, I think we said something about. We tried to put. I thought we did at one point. It was like, go fuck yourself or something. We thought about that, and then something with shit.
Yeah. And we just call it eat shit, we're right, you're wrong, fuck off.
Right.
There you go. new podcast.
There you
Eat
go.
shit. I'm right. You're wrong. Fuck off.
I think we can make an acronym or something for that.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? You all beard up?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's do
I don't know how
this.
exciting this is going to be, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be
I don't
kind
know.
of low
I'm
key.
not. I'm just kind of like I said. I'm bitchy.
You are.
I'm in like male menstrual cycle
That's when you
or
get
something
exciting,
like that.
though, when you're bitching about shit.
I don't know. Yeah, you just got to give me you got to tee it up, right? You
gotta
got
be
to
the right
whatever it
kinda-
is. But I think
yeah.
really anything at this point, you could name.
I can tell.
say the color blue. Fuck blue.
We're watching the Blues.
Not the
Blues
Blues.
game is
Fuck
on
the color
right now.
blue.
Fuck blue. All right, let's start.